And in this time when so many people are feeling the urgency of political unrest, when you need something to happen for social change, I really can't think of a better vote than to vote for a referendum that is going to help students become successful and to help students become our future.
My name is Keeley Powell, and my position in the community is that I'm Vice President for the Christina School District Board of Education.
I'm Claire O'Neill. I'm a parent of 2 children who attend schools in the Christina School District. I'm also a school board member, a member of the Board of Education.
Because the state law requires, or the code requires, that teachers be served with a layoff notice prior to a certain date, the board has already had to make cuts in anticipation of a possible failed referendum. No one, I can tell you, and I'll speak for myself, but no one wants to see these cuts stay.
And just as a not so fun fact, the last time we lost a referendum, there was a $9 million budget shortfall. So it's really not surprising that we are where we are. We just have to pass a referendum. And I will say too that as a board member, I take it very seriously, that I take no pleasure in making any of these cuts. And I hope people understand that as a parent in the district, that I know that my children will also be suffering because of these cuts.
It was very stressful. Last year, we attempted a referendum and failed it in 2019. That led to us losing some teaching positions. But here we are again a year later. And without a past referendum, there's approximately $10 million of resources that we need that we won't have. So the cuts went deeper this time. The cuts are things that are, in my opinion, quite alarming. There are things like getting rid of athletics at the high school level. It's scary. Athletics are an opportunity for students to do growth and development outside the classroom, but also a pathway into college for a lot of people.
Arts programs, so elementary instrumental music. In 5th grade, every student who is interested is offered the opportunity to learn how to play an instrument. That program has been cut. Students who qualify for gifted and talented programs in the elementary school receive pull-out instruction several times a week. That program has been cut. My older son runs cross-country at Newark High School. My younger son is going to be at Newark High School next year. He's first chair percussion at SHU. He really wants to play in the marching band. They won't have those opportunities, and I can't imagine what school will be like for them without them, which is why I hope everybody gets out there and votes for the referendum.
So I know that people have said, why in the world is the district doing these cuts? We had already got down to the basics, and now we had to say, what are we required to have to provide an education to a child, and what's extra? I don't think these things are extra. I think these things are essential and important. But we are not allowed to run a district with a deficit. We simply have to be accountable for resources. We've cut, and now the cuts are deep enough that people can notice and feel them. And I don't want them to be permanent, but that's what's on the line for the referendum on June 9th.
So how could you, as a community member, get involved? How can you support our school district? Well, first, please vote for the referendum. There are 4 parts. I would encourage you to vote for all of them. For less than $1 a day, right? Way less than any of us pay for our cable bill, for our cell phone bill, even for my internet bill. I can support community schools that benefit the most diverse district in the state, the 2nd largest district in the state. I feel like that's an excellent investment in our community's future.
Because I know there are some community members who say, you know what, I've raised my children, or I don't have any children. This is not an issue for me. But what I want to remind people is strong communities are really built around strong public schools, and that public schools impact a lot of things that matter to us, like our property value for those of us who are living in this community, safety, and education, because even if these aren't your children, these are children who will likely live and work in this community when they become adults, and you want them to be well-rounded and well-educated kids. You don't want them attending a subpar educational system just because people refuse to fund it.
So if you are somebody who is really fired up about what's going on in our country right now, who really wants to make a difference and wants to stand up for social justice issues, I am here to tell you public education is a social justice issue. Our district has 41% of the students throughout the district that live at or below the poverty line. We are the most diverse district in the state of Delaware. A vote for the referendum absolutely will make a difference in each of these children's futures. It will mean that we have adequate teachers to ensure that we have lower class sizes, to ensure that these students' daily needs are met, heard, well attended to. Every student in this district deserves that kind of chance.
Any person who lives in the Christina School District who's a U.S. citizen who's 18 years old or older can vote. You don't have to be a registered voter. So as long as you can prove you live in the school district with either a government-issued ID or utility bill, you may vote. The polling places are listed on the school district's website. You can go to any of those places. You don't have to go to the one that's closest to your home. There will be appropriate social distancing and protocols to keep you safe at the polls. If you've never voted before, it only takes a couple of minutes. Voting is actually really easy. In terms of why you should vote, even if you don't have kids or whatever, we have new leadership. I've explained the changes on the school board in terms of all the new people, the new superintendent coming in, and we would like to give our new leaders the resources they need to meet the educational needs of our students. If you've got a new team lined up on deck, you don't want to have them already with some strikes against them. We are asking for community support so that we can make the changes that they've demanded of us.